When you feel steady and comfortable, gently close your eyes. यस्त्यक्त्वा रूपमाद्यं प्रभवति जगतो अनेकधानुग्रहाय प्रक्षीणक्लेशराशिरविषमविषधरो अनेकवक्त्रसुभोगी सर्वज्ञानप्रसूतिर्भुजगपरिकर प्रीतैर्यस्य नित्यं देवो हि सहसोऽव्यात् सितविमलतनुर्योगदो योगयुक्तः Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes. External eyes. Namo Namaha. Hari Om. Namaskaram. Yes. Just to remind me, once if you have written Alinga, Linga, Vishesha and Avishesha. Yes? All right. I will be sharing the screen. Are you able to view the screen?
Ji.
Yes. Vishesha and Avishesha. Vishesha, which is particularized. Avishesha, unparticularized. So, when we look at this sutra, we will study the bhashya and we will continue with the understanding. तत्र आकाशव्य अग्न्यु उदक भूमयो भूतानि शब्द स्पर्श रूप रस गंध मात्राणां विशेषाणां विशेषाः तथा श्रोत्र त्वक चक्षुर्जिह्वाग्राणानि बुद्धिरिन्द्राणि वाक् पाणि पाद पायुपस्थानि कर्मेन्द्रियाणि एकादशं मनः सर्वार्थमित्येद् अन्यस्मिता लक्षणस्य विशेषस्य विशेषाः गुणानामेष षोडशेषो विशेष परिणामः षड अविशेषस्तद् यथा शब्दतन्मात्रं स्पर्शतन्मात्रं रूपतन्मात्रं रसतन्मात्रं गन्धतन्मात्रं च इत्येक द्विचतुष्टलक्षणाः शब्दायः पञ्चविशेषा षष्ठ च विशेषो अस्मितामात्र इति एते सत्तामात्रस्यात्मनो महतः षड्विशेषः परिणामः. So this sutra is the sutra where many commentators argue there is a slight contradiction between Sankhya and Yoga. In this sutra, we see the 5 organs of action or karma indriya being born out of rajas and sense organs or gyan indriya born out of sattva. So yoga philosophy here says karma indriya born out of rajas. And when we look at Sankhya, karma jnana both come under sattva. So just make this subtle note first. Now, second line, right? Vishesha born out of avishesha, which means the particularized is born out of unparticularized. The unparticularized are 6 tattvas in number. The particularized tattvas are 16 in number. So, avishesha 6, vishesha 16. Have we reached here? Now, When we look at the Moola Prakriti, yesterday we said Moola Prakriti is what? It is Alinga and Mahat is Linga. Alinga and Linga, Vishesha and Avishesha. So we are discussing Heyam Dukkham Anagatam, Samsara. Yes, samsara filled with sorrow. What is the reason for it? Reason are these 24 born out of the Alinga. And they are constantly changing. Inability to understand these are the cause of suffering. So when we look at Moola Prakriti, you will just look at the chart. Moola Prakriti has potentiality. This potentiality becomes possible with Mahat, which means the mud has the potentiality to be formed into different objects. This possibility is Mahat, the knowledge of to what extent mind can evolve, its evolutes, is Mahat. Mahat is symbolic, therefore known as Linga. Prakriti is non-symbolic, Alinga. Prakriti is simply there. Yesterday, we had taken the example in the last session of a woman. So from physical appearance, we can consider a human to be a woman. But womanhood comes with the potential of giving birth. So woman is the same. When you look at her, you know that there is potential. When she gives birth, you say this is possible. So woman and womanhood. One woman being called as the aunt, mother, sister, wife, daughter in different ways. One woman has the possibility of being all of these. Here we are discussing the understanding of Moola Prakriti, Alinga and Linga. The Moola Prakriti is balanced state of the Trigunas, Sattva, Raja and Tama. So Mahat has potential. From Mahat is the Prakriti has potential. With that potential, there is possibility through Mahat, and this possibility gives further rise to Ahamkara, self-identity. So for a small child, we see Moola Prakriti, Sattva, Raja, Tama in the mother's womb, all in Samya Avastha. After birth, we see the Mahat Tattva, intellect in that child. So even a small child, a 1 year, 2 year old, will have a fear. So where is this fear coming from? From past births. So Mahat, Buddhi is there. There is potential of the senses. Seeing is happening, listening is happening. Attempts to talk is possible. But all of these, when the child realizes, I am the doer, I am the seer, I am the one making the sound, there is ego sense. Now, if we look at the chart in front of us, we see through this ego sense that is unparticularized, the tanmatras are also connected, which means the ego sense is dependent on what? Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa and gandha. Both are subtle, but my personality, ego sense, determined by sound, that is shabda, touch, that is sparsha, form, that is rupa, taste, that is rasa, and smell, that is gandha, which is subtle, unparticularized. And because of the shabda, I know or have the knowledge of akasha. So from unparticularized, the particularized is born. अविशेष से विशेष का बोध हो रहा है. From touch, sparsha. What is the touch? It's simply absence of air on the skin. If somebody comes in contact with the body, somebody holds the hand, what do we see? Absence of element air in that part of the body. That is why touch is possible. So through touch, the knowledge of element air is gathered. From form or rupa, fire, the element fire is gathered. Similarly, taste through element water. So the taste that we have gives us the knowledge of liquid, that is water, element water. And finally, smell gives us the understanding or connects us externally with the earth. So for the ego sense, through the subtle tanmatras, these Panchamahabhutas are gathered. So unparticularized is the cause of the particularized. Avishesha gives birth to Vishesha. So Panchamahabhuta, if they are Vishesha, they are born out of Avishesha, subtle. Subtle in me gives the understanding of the heavier gross forms outside me. Similarly, from Ahankara, that is unparticularized, the Ahamkara becomes the reason for 5 Jnana Indriya, Satvik Ahamkara, and 5 organs of action. That is Rajasic Ahamkara, Karma Indriya and Jnana Indriya. If you look at the chart, you realize Satvik and Rajasic have been separated. So the cause for the Pancha Mahabhuta becomes the Tanmatra. So in the previous session, yesterday when we were trying to deliberate, we connected it with the Ahamkara. But further evolute of Ahamkara, Tanmatra we take in yoga philosophy. Sankhya has slight difference, but when we are studying yoga, we understand it, we differentiate it further. We express it at more minute level. Then it is expressed in Sankhya. Yes, so 5 Jnanendriya born out of Satvik Ahamkara, 5 Karma Indriya born out of Rajasic Ahamkara. Now what about the mind? Write the definition of mind. Manaha Sankalpa Indriya. That which is held by the sense organ and the organs of action is the mind. Manaha Sankalpam Indriyaha. Now look at the chart again. That which is held by the organs of action and the organs of cognition is the mind. Gyan Indriya and Karma Indriya. And mind is independent. Mind is independent of the both Gyan Indriya and Karma Indriya. So ego gives birth to mind. Manas is Ubhayatmakam, Sarvarthak, independent. Therefore, even when the sense organs are not working or the organs of action, you still have the residue. Independently, it can act. It's not always dependent on the Gyan Indriya and Karma Indriya. So why are we studying this? Because when we start meditating, if we want to realize the Purusha, we must know what gives rise to what and how are we proceeding. So what we know through this sutra? The one which is held by Jnanendriya and Karma Indriya is the mind. We will meditate and contemplate on this later after the class also. Before you go to bed, 5 minutes just contemplate on this verse. One which is held by the Jnanendriya and Karma Indriya. Born out of the ego is the mind. Now let's move on to the next paragraph and see what it says. Yat tatparam विशेषभ्यो लिंगमात्रं महत्तत्वं तस्मिन्नेते सत्तामात्रे महत्तम्यात् अन्यवस्था विरुद्ध काष्ठम् अनुभवन्ति प्रति संसृज्यमानाश्च तस्मिन्नेव सत्तामात्रे महत्यात्मनवस्थायां यथा निस्सत्तायां सत्त निसदसद निरसद अव्यक्तं लिंगं प्रधानं तत् प्रतियन्ति एषां तेषां लिंगमात्रः परिणामः निस्सत्तासत्तश्च अलिंग परिणामः इति अलिंगावस्थायां न पुरुषार्थो हेतुः न अलिंगावस्थायां आदौ पुरुषार्थता कारणं भवति न तस्याः पुरुषार्थता कारणं भवति इति नासौ पुरुषार्थ कृतेति नित्याख्याते त्रयाणात्व अवस्थिता विशेषणाम् आदौ पुरुषार्थता कारणं भवति सचार्थो हेतुर्निमित्तं कारणं भवति नित्याख्याते. So moola prakriti or alinga, the verse says, when purushartha, effort is applied, all of this is born. Vishesha and avishesha and linga. Effort from moola prakriti, unmanifested, the pradhan, when effort is applied, slight push is given to this potential, possibility takes place. So when we discuss about the yogis who are in prakriti laya avastha, what happens? The knowledge of prakriti is there, the possibility is there, but there is no potential in this state of samadhi. Also, when we, prior to realizing purusha, we attain a state where everything is there, but there is no push, no potential for further evolution or creation from the mind. So understanding this sutra actually helps us understand how our mind can expand, to what degrees. For example, if we say, this is like saying that from the milk, curd is made, and from the curd, the buttermilk and the cheese, but milk is present in all the states. Just like saying, from the mud, a pot is made, with the pot, smaller utensils and pan is made, and along with the pan, containers to fill the water and grains are made. And all of them contain this very moola prakriti. So, this evolution is not happening one after the other. It's happening at one point together. And it's going on changing its form. That means there is further evolution possible until we reach the last tattva, that is earth, prithvi, 5 elements. So particularized and unparticularized. And all of these are seen, all of these born out of the ahamkara. The moment there is knowledge of, there is moola prakriti, in the mool prakriti, when there is knowledge, possibility, further the curiosity, expansion happens. To what level can this knowledge be? To what extent? So when this knowledge potential is self-identified, or from cosmic intelligence we come to individual intelligence, we say ahamkara. Now this ahamkara is fed by the subtle tanmatras. So subtle tanmatras and ahamkara together are unparticularized, avishesha. Rest all are particularized, vishesha. Yes. Ji, I can't hear you, Guruji. I think you're on.
Apologies, Guruji.
Yes.
I was Reflecting on that, so Guruji, my question is that when you suggested that the evolution of that particular Mool Prakriti continues simultaneously in real time across all planes and across all use cases, and then it terminates itself to one of these Panchamahabhutas. So I have been looking at it in a reverse order so far, which is the Panch Mahabhuta starts and then it actually unfolds. So the basics that we all get, that we have learned, that entire Srishti is made up of these Panch Mahabhutas. So if the quality of each of them could be understood in everything, then it unfolds itself. However, what you just
Right.
suggested is we look at it from the more Prakriti perspective, and then if one can try, I guess, when we go to the journeys where we just time to time go over the state of ego and we settle within that more Prakriti, we don't necessarily need to pay attention to that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, what you're saying is right, because for only this, we saw this sutra, it's related to Sankhya Karikas. And Sankhya is theory of evolution. And you're thinking in the reverse order because we learned yoga is theory of devolution. You go backward. So going backward is our direction. But to go backwards, we must know till where we have to reach. So if I'm in dhyana, I must know what is the, so if I'm seeing a pot, I must know what is, how it happened, who created, where it came from. So we are just seeing the map, how it has evolved across the source. So then it's easy for me to identify and go beyond with the help of all of these.
And then Guruji,
So, please continue.
so Guruji, then I have a follow-up question, and it may be out of scope, but I wish to surrender it today. But I just wanted to understand, since the day that I got introduced to this chart, this question has bothered me, which is back in May when I met you. Um, the relationship between the Tanmatras and the Panchamahabhutas is used with the examples of sound, which is sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. But the coinciding Panchamahabhutas are ether, air, fire, water, and earth.
Hmm.
Without understanding enough about ether and sound, I understand. Touch and air, you just explained. Form and fire, I don't understand because I can't see it.
Okay.
And same is with water and taste and smell is with earth. I cannot fathom the correlation. So please, if you can shed some light on that.
Yes, we will go through it. So if we see the Pancha Mahabhutas, it is said from sound and touch, sparsha. Yes, the knowledge of ether, akasha, and vayu is there, both. So from sound, I created a sound which echoed, and I had the knowledge of space. So we say creation comes from Om. Now, the next one, which is air, vayu, has ether and air together. Shabda and sparsha together give birth to air. You'll have to just look at the chart once. Shabda and sparsha giving birth to air together. So air has the two. Fire has shabda, sparsha, rupa. So from the space there is air. And when you look at a flame, what is it? It's just that you feel that the flame is also air-like, very thin. So now from the fire, air and earth, ether, air and fire together, we see apa, that is water. So water will have fire in it also, air in it also, and ether will in it also. And finally, the earth will have all the five of it together. So actually, Sankhya Karikas say the origin happened from Shabda, sound. From the sound or from the ether, air was created. Now, air had ether and the qualities further evolved because we are seeing evolution. So, mud has some qualities which gives rise to another shape and form. So, ether and air together were also present in the fire. Therefore, without oxygen, what happens? You cannot light a flame. You need space even for the flame to be there. So, from fire, air, and ether, water was born. That's
How?
why when you heat the water, pour it on the skin. See if the effect is that of fire. Boil the water, pour it on the skin. There is fire, but fire is nimna matra. When conducive environment is given, it manifests.
So, Guruji, then I understand that they are related. So the formation of earth is dependent on the four. But would that mean that so earth would have all of the qualities? Earth is nothing but the addition of the Apa, Agni, Vayu, and Akash. There is nothing else to earth.
Yes.
So in that case, Akash being the ultimate mystery as to what forms, wouldn't that be, I guess, an element that, like, how would, so what's Akash?
Space, sound. Sound comes from, again, ahankara. Knowledge of sound comes from the ego sense. Now, why we say this? Because out of the sounds that you listen to, you ignore all the others except the one of your liking. Here is the same. All sounds fall onto you. The one you gather is the one out of your liking. So through all the sounds of the world, do you recall and do you have all of them with you now? No. You only have the one with you of your liking. So actually Sankhya Karika says the origin begins from space. Brahmanda. Akhanda Brahmanda.
Thank you.
So one element, it gave birth to other elements. It's not that 5 of them are different. In the water, you have fire. You heat the water, you have the same burn effect that you will have from the fire. Just that it's in unmanifested state. So this is for us to understand how we move from what is being manifested to what is unmanifested. The potentiality, the possibilities, from potential to the possibilities. And all of these come from the effort. So until there is effort in us, we reach till linga. The moment we drop the effort, we enter alinga, prakriti stage, where all these 3 gunas are in equilibrium. Prakriti, no? Therefore we call it pra is before, kriti is creation. Before creation, alinga. So prakriti has kartritva. There is doership, but no understanding of why it is to be done and how is the push. Therefore, some people usually say a stree or a woman, from woman to womanhood, the womanhood in her comes with the presence of her partner. That is when she has a child. So, Prakriti in contact with Purusha. Further, the creation starts. Mahat Ahamkara. Mahat is the first and the closest born with the union of Purusha and Prakriti. So yesterday when we were trying to study this sutra, the particularized and unparticularized, all of them to me seem changing. So I had to get back to Swamiji and discuss. I said, what is happening? What I have heard is different. And he started laughing. He said, it's your test. You're a teacher. Go ahead and answer this. I said, both are right. You have to tell me which one should I share it with my students. Then he said, this is the sutra where there is a debate between Sankhya and Yoga. And I purposely in the part left all of you to it, because only the one who would teach this would ask me the question or would get stuck here. So the Guru Mahima, Guru knows. But yes, even when we are in the journey of sharing, or whenever you will be in your journey of teaching, you will have moments when it will be a test from your Guru. So unless, that is the point, because Guru wants to keep meeting the Shishya here in between. So there are some open ends left. Now, in the part, when we were listening from Swamiji, none of us asked him that there is a contradiction with Sankhya. That means none of us remembered that there is a change in Sankhya and Yoga at this very verse. What is the change when we were learning from Swamiji? That time, So what was, since we didn't ask, he didn't answer that question until somebody again taught that, because we learned it through Shravana, not through the text. So yoga just what validates what has come, the text validates what has come from the Guru. So Swamiji just said, and we were not seeing the text, eyes closed and just doing Shravana. So he started laughing. He said, both are right. I said, both cannot be right at the same time. Vishesha and Avishesha, because the books are, they're showing a slight change. So then he said, this is the sutra, which is the bone of contention for many scholars between Sankhya and Yoga. Why? Because we see here the karma indriyas coming out of the Rajasic Ahamkara, where in Sankhya, there is nothing born out of the Rajas. Either it supports the Sattva or it supports the Tamas. So this minute equation also changes. So then he asked me in the morning again, and then he said, who went wrong? So I said, I don't know who went wrong, because there is no I for me when I'm teaching. What you have given me, I'm sharing. So if I'm right, you are right. If I'm wrong, you are wrong.
Guruji, I asked you this question during our 200 TTC. I was like, I asked this question that I see Sattva and Tamas, and what comes out of Rajas then? And I remember you answering
Yes,
that, which
yes.
is, well, it is the transiting energy, so it doesn't necessarily have
Energy. Yes.
up until now.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much.
When we were studying Sankhya, so when we still study Sankhya, there will always be this debate where Rajas has no evolute of its own. And wherein, when we are studying this particular sutra, we see that the karma indriya born out of Rajas. And Vishesha and Avishesha, particularized and unparticularized. So sometimes, even when we are on our journey, even when you teach your students and you have heard and done Shravana with complete confidence, surrender, and efforts that you are taking, never doubt yourself. Just go back and visit the Guru. And sometimes it's a test, because Guru also wants us, when we are teaching, to see how we face an obstacle when there is a contradiction. So this is also a possibility. Although I give everything, that you'll never face this from my end. Perhaps when you study higher texts or further texts, I might keep some catch here and there, because as a teacher, it is required. So Swamiji explained it to me that when you are teaching your students, you must have a moment of doubt somewhere in every scripture, at least once, so that you remain more grounded, so that you come back to the Guru and you revisit what has changed, or whatever. There should be some doubt. There must be one place where, which should plug you, which should keep you in that student mode. So we had a hearty laugh on this. I said, Swamiji, if for this, from yesterday I have not eaten anything, for the very reason, because I didn't have the answer to this question till early morning, and unless I have the answer, I cannot eat, because all the students, then I was going to say, are dependent on me, but then the me would come. So I didn't say, I said, all students are waiting for your knowledge. So I have to pass it on further. Then he said, okay, then now you have the answer, go and eat something and then you answer. Because for me, it was such a strong moment where I felt that I went wrong, and he wanted to remove this I. He wanted me to check if it is not even wrong or right. What is the difference? What is the bone of contention between these two? So more when we teach, it's a great reminder to us, and it's a great trick of our great gurus for us to remain very, very grounded, even when we are on our journey, and it's very enjoyable. So he got happy for me, writing him and calling him. Couldn't do middle of the night. I waited patiently till he wakes 3:30 in the morning. I woke up early and I said, Swamiji, this is there. Yesterday I was in the part, I was explaining it to all my students, and for the first time I got stuck. And I knew both are right, Vishesha and Avishesha, what you have said and what I've heard in Sankhya. So please remove me from this situation. He enjoyed it. So this is the correct explanation for 19. You please maintain this with you. Okay, let's see what the last paragraph says, then we conclude this sutra. I think we had not even taken the bhashyam. If we would have taken the bhashyam, it would have been cleared way ahead for us. Gunastu sarva dharmanupatino na प्रत्यस्य मन्यते नो उपजायन्ते व्यक्तिभिरेव अतीततानगतव्य याम गवति गुणत्व यिनिभिरूपजनम आपाय धर्मका इव प्रत्येव भासन्ते यथा देवदत्तो दारिद्र्यतः हि कस्मात् यत्तोस्य भास्यन्ते गावः इति गवामेव मरणतस्य दारिद्राणां न स्वरूपहानदिति समः समाधिः समाधान लिंग मात्रम अलिंगस्य प्रत्ययसन्नम तत्र तत्संतुष्टम विविच्यते क्रमान अनिवृत्तेः तथा षड विशेष लिंग मात्रो संतुष्टा विविच्यन्ते परिणामाक्रमनियमात् तथा तेष्व विशेषु भूतेन्द्रियाणि संतुष्टानि विविच्यन्ते तथा चोक्तम पुरस्तात् न विशेषम्यः परम तत्वान्तरमस्ति इति विशेषाणां नास्ति तत्वांतर परिणामः तेषां तु धर्मलक्षण अवस्था परिणामः व्याख्यय विशिष्यन्ते. So this sutra says that the buddhi or alinga is the one which gives us the knowledge of everything until the final moment where we realize we are even dying. Now there is no death experience in this birth, but in that moment also we are aware that we are facing or experiencing death. So Mahat Tattva in that last moment is Prakarshit, very, very dominant. So therefore, we say that this unparticularized that we have ego, understanding this through meditation, understanding the elements through tanmatras, understanding through Gyanendriya and Karma Indriya, whatever they hold is the mind. So mind is not a separate entity. Whatever is being held is the mind by the Gyanendriya and Karma Indriya. And the source of this mind comes from the I-ness. So this understanding has to be very, very clear. So the destruction of the very unparticularized is known as Satkaryavad. Satta, Mahat is known as Satta. So Satta is Bhava Abhava Rahit. Satta Bhava Abhava Rahit. Difference between Sat, Sat Purushartha Kriya Shaman, right? Sat is equal to Purushartha, effort, Kriya, action, Shamana. Purushartha Kriya Shamana Yattat iti Sat. And Sattva, Bhava, Purusha, Purushatva. Sat, Sattva. So wherever Tva is there, there will be Bhava. So the three gunas neither are born nor destroyed. Guna na utpanna hote hai na nashwar hote hai. They keep on changing and evolving. We have completed this sutra. I will just quickly check if there is any other example which we can have for us. Have you written the definition of Manaha? That's from Sankhya Karika 27. Just note it, which I had said. Manaha Sankalpa Indriyam. Manaha Sankalpa Indriyam. What the senses are holding is the mind. Asmita, that is ahamkara, is abhimana. So, with the knowledge, I am the knower is difference between mahat and ahamkara. I am the listener. I am the talker. I am the eater. I am the seer. Right? Vyakti bhava, atma bhava. In front of mahat, right? Vyakta bhava, vyakta bhava. In front of ahamkara, atma bhava. This is the krama. This is the evolution. Just write Shabda and Roop, word and form, for example, are in many ways. But these many are in its own ambit. They are not different. Evolutes or continuation are in its own ambit. They are not different. Jaise, for example, in many animals, there are different kinds of eyes. But what is common in that? Sight. Unparticularized to particularized. From the unparticularized, born the particularized. Yes, with this, we conclude this sutra. We will start an interesting sutra which will talk about drashta, sutra number 20. In the next session, very small sutra, we will finish it quickly. We conclude today's session here. Bring your palms together at the heart center. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. Prepare yourself for the meditation on the session. When you're ready, gently lift your head up, open your eyes, externalize. Namo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you for joining the session with me. I wish I could go longer and continue the next session now only, but I think we should stop here. Hari Om. Let's keep it for the next time. Take care. Hari Om.